The Weber Cup is a unique event in 10-pin. It requires the very best bowlers from either side of the Atlantic to perform under pressure, to raise their game at crucial moments, and to go that extra mile to secure the ultimate prize in this team competition. It's Europe against the USA. It's the third day of competition. The teams are level after 22 matches. Everything to play for in the 18th edition of the Weber Cup. The format is simple enough. The magic number here at the Weber Cup is 19. It's the first team to reach that target that claims the trophy. 1 point per match, with the matches consisting of singles, doubles and a baker. A team match involving all 8 players. As for the scoring, it's been simplified. The matches are played over 10 frames. There's no extra shot in the 10th. A strike is worth 30, and of course the magical score still remains the 300 game. Europe have been chasing this tournament from day one. The Americans claimed the opening 2 matches and set the tone. It was left to Jesper Svensson to save the day. He responded with points that kept his team in touch, helped by Barrett winning in the final match of the session. Day 2 showed a closer fought contest as the Europeans edged their way back into contention. Barrett won the opener. Europe found a way back in via Stuart Williams, and then through the partnership of Larsson and Svensson. The USA finished with a win and finished 2 points clear of their rivals. The evening session and the 15th match of this tournament saw all 8 players turn out for the Baker match. Europe, in a determined mood, recorded a 286 to win comfortably. Stuart Williams had momentum on his side and eased past Kyle Troup. Suddenly Europe were posing a real threat. Match 17 gave a glimmer of hope to the Americans as E.J. Tackett inflicted a rare defeat on Jesper Svensson. That result for the Americans proved a temporary blip. Barrett was back and leading from the front with a big win over his fellow captain, Sean Rash. Martin Larsson didn't have to rely on luck when he faced Marshall Kent. His score of 277 enough for a comfortable win. Jesper Svensson then gained revenge on E.J. Tackett and increased his side's advantage to 2 points, a rare moment for Team Europe in this year's competition. The real test came in the captain's pick. Martin Larsson was chosen to play and Sean Rash was singled out by the Europeans. Both players felt the pressure, but it was Rash who rose to the challenge and took his side to within a point of Europe. On day 3, the opening session saw Dominic Barrett lead the way. He faced Kyle Troup, who produced an impressive 279 to draw level with Europe. Day 3 will decide the fate of the Weber Cup. After 22 games, it all hangs in the balance. A host of singles and doubles matches will now shape the next stage of this tournament, starting with Dominic Barrett and Stuart Williams of Europe against Kyle Troup and Marshall Kent of the USA.
My performance for myself was pretty good. I started to feel pretty comfortable in the lane. And I think that goes throughout the whole team now. We're starting to feel more comfortable, and that's definitely showing in our results.
Marshall Kent is, he seemed to be getting over all of his problems that he had last year at the Weber Cup, but hopefully we can find some more of those problems for him to have the last day.
Stu's, he's the talker. He's the animated one. He's always fun to watch. Dom's, you can definitely tell he's kind of the leader of the group.
I think today, there won't be much fighting talk. We're just going to let our bowling do the talking, and they can watch us be holding the cup at the end.
Time to join our commentary team then. Cass Edwards and Nick Calling.
You're gonna take my name, take this to the side.
All right, good luck. Good luck, Stewie.
And as I'm sure you've already worked out, we've put microphones on the players for the doubles. So we will listen in between shots to see what is being discussed. Sometimes that is very interesting. Sometimes it's what are they going to have for dinner. But you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, 4 right-handers all playing down the right-hand side of the lane, which has already had one game on it. So there may well be some oil that's moved around and transitioned. The players, again, will have to look out for the any different reactions in their bowling ball and make necessary adjustments.
And before a ball has been bowled, a question. How has Dominic Barrett managed to adjust after his really disappointing effort? Ooh, and that's not the great start. I mean, yeah, now what's bothered him? He did not have a good singles match. He faded out pretty badly. And we talked about the need for him to adjust to get it right for the doubles match, and he started off with a false start.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what it was. We mentioned to somebody in the audience, but he's going to go back. He's going to regroup. He won't let it worry him.
Well, it certainly didn't worry him, did it?
Well, he's actually playing that deep inside line. I was quite surprised to see him there, but it's a great-looking strike.
This is going to be, oh boy, this last match is going to be sexy.
Something like that.
Can't complain about the shot. Great-looking line, great reaction in the back end.
So up comes Kyle Troup, who really looked good in his singles match a few moments ago. Hey, he's out of the pocket.
Go for it.
Crikey. Don't worry, Marshall said. What a strange looking lead that is for a right-hander.
And in doubles, it means that the next guy up has to bowl at the spare. So Marshall Kent has been thrown a mess to try and clear up.
It's the 4, 6 and the 9 pin. Now, he possibly could bounce this 6 onto the 9 and hope it jumps across the lane. But can only take 2, and it's an open frame.
Well, we've seen plenty of matches won this weekend from an open frame in frame 1.
Yeah,
to the alpha, because only 3 left. And
it's double. Still going that alpha?
Yeah, it is cleaner.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I got around that a good bit, but
yeah, it wasn't bad.
nothing banged off of it.
Yeah. Still making another move off it too, or?
Sounds like Carl's going to make a ball change already.
Indeed, and that decision endorsed by Marshall Kent as well. Now here's Stu Williams. You heard what he thinks about this match. Well, that's how he would have wanted to start out.
Nice little slapper on the pen then.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Hey, we were Mike when we were going, come on, go for it. That's funny.
They've just realised that they're mic'd. I'm not sure what they're going to say, but a great looking shot.
It's funny how that looked really good, and then you see the 5 pin being really long.
Flew off.
Stuart Williams with a microphone on. Goodness me.
Maybe somebody should tell them that we can hear them.
Oh, they know. They know. Now then, this is interesting. What adjustments does Kyle Troup make? New ball. And he's only just made that. Listen, he won't be too happy about that. He barely clipped that head pin.
Well, a lot of speed and just made the head pin, but he's changed his line. He's come way left with his feet. Just threw it out and back.
Same result. You just did down the.
Well, he knows it wasn't a good one, that's for sure. Look at that, it's only just caught the head pin.
Yeah, very fortunate to get that 2 pin to drop. But it counts as 10. Actually counts as 30, doesn't it?
So here's Barrett looking for another 30, and he only kicked that in. It was very late hooking, but hooking it did.
That was a little fast, that one.
Yeah. It looked like you got a little bit like in to out.
Yeah, I moved one and It's a bit firm, but everything's a bit quick.
Yeah, it was like it ended up going long right, sort of thing.
Yeah, interesting what they're saying there.
Picked up.
We don't get any points for throwing good shots.
Mentioning that they're making different moves. They're letting their partner know what moves they're making ball by ball.
So for the first time in the match, a full rack for Marshall Kent to look at. What does he do with it? That's the best pocket hit we've seen in this doubles match.
Okay, shot. Ooh. I liked that one off my hand.
Yeah, bowlers know immediately, don't they? He said, I liked it off my hand. As soon as that was gone, he knew.
Team Europe look composed and in charge as we head to the break. Welcome back to the Weber Cup. It's the final day, and in session 4 there are a group of crucial matches coming up. The teams are currently tied on 11 points. On the lane at the moment, a doubles match. Barrett and Williams for Europe, Troup and Kent for the USA. The European duo has the advantage, but the pressure is on both teams. Commentary from Cass Edwards and Nick Halling.
21 pin difference between the sides. It's perfect for Barrett and Williams for Team Europe.
That's another one that was late breaking, but it did the job.
Yeah, I think Stuart's going to mention that was a little bit unlucky, that one, but it counts.
No. I was happy that hit light.
Yeah.
If that had caught up a little bit, that'd have flat 10 for sure.
Good.
Yeah, the ball hit light. Stuart said so, and he said if it hit it perfect, it could well have left the flat 10 pin in the corner. Hey ho.
Well, let's see what Troup can come up with now. This has not been a convincing showing from him in doubles. The opposite of what he achieved in singles. Now that's a bit more like it. That is his best shot of this doubles match.
Just letting us know that he moved 2 boards on that shot.
I was going to move 3. Sean said
3
move
strikes
1,
in a row.
2. But then I got around that one a little bit more.
That looked good.
The 2 pin, I super rolled it.
Yeah, look good.
I've got to get around it a little bit.
It's so interesting to hear what the world's top pros say when they bowled either a good ball or a bad ball.
Let's get back in.
Well, that's another one that's taken that late hooking line from Dom Barrett.
Whatever he did to that rack seems to be doing better for us here. The light hit seems to be at least getting out.
Stu Williams, first British bowler to win a title on the PBA Tour, followed by Dom Barrett the following week with his World Championship win.
It's gone pretty wide, that has, yeah, and he's missed the head pin. Makeable spare, sorry, Cass, but he lost control of that one right off the fingers.
Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth. You could see that it just came off of his fingers wrong, and he almost went down on one knee, and he was just looking terrible. It's gone so wide, it has made the head pin. It's left the 1-2 in the 10, which is a makeable spare. If you can clip that head pin left-hand side, or if Carl can, anyway.
Yeah, it's very makeable, and he has to make it to keep the Americans in this one. Oh, he's unlucky. He really is unlucky there. I mean, he sent those 2 pins either side of the 10.
Well, if you're lucky, you'll also get a kick pin back, come off the kickback, and it just hasn't happened. In fact, it's too light. Could have hit that a bit heavier, would have gone straight onto that 10 pin. Just lays flat there.
Well, a second open frame when your opponents are bowling perfect. That's pretty much all over, really, for the Americans here.
You say that in frame 5, and I would probably agree with you, but anything can happen.
Yeah, they've still got work to do here, haven't they, the Europeans? It's but they can probably spare out from here and be okay. They're not even thinking about sparing out.
Nick, they could strike out and have 300.
That one in. That's no shot.
Yep. Let's finish this one off.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about the score, they're thinking about the point that they're going to win, which is almost in the bag already.
Well, I think if it had been any doubt at all, this last strike from Stu Williams has really erased those doubts. It's nothing but damage limitation now for the Americans, who just have to strike out off the sheet and hope that something very unfortunate befalls the Europeans, because this is completely out of their control now.
Yeah, and big pressure on Marshall Kent because he's up in the singles game next against Stuart Williams. So one's riding high and the other's struggling a little bit.
That was more like it, but he doesn't take the 10, and if there were any residual doubts about where this point was going, that's the end of that. The gap grows to plus 50 pins now, and the Americans are not pulling that back.
No, you're quite right. Just the 4 frames to go after this shot.
A good point you made there, Cass. I mean, Troup isn't involved. I don't think he's involved the rest of the session, so he can relax now from here. But Kent, very involved. As you say, he's got an important singles match, and he's got to get this lane worked out. So we'll be watching Kent very closely.
That's false, yeah.
I actually did what I wanted to do on that one.
You think you get to do in the loft deal, or?
I think I might as well.
There you go. He's just saying he's going to get a urethane ball and loft it next game. They're already talking about the next game as if this one is done and dusted, which it really is. And of course, Stuart Williams is riding high.
So Barrett looking to try and keep this streak alive, turn it into a 7-bagger, which he does. What a strike that was! Oh.
Winner, chicken dinner.
What a doubles team these two are,
Yes,
and
sir.
have been for years.
Yes, sir.
I took one on that, and it picked up.
Yep.
Plenty.
Stalwarts of the European side, and this is Dom's 10th Weber Cup and Stu's 7th.
Now, let's see what Kent's going to start doing. If anything, that was, I think it was a ball change, was it?
Ball change, yeah, but he's got a couple of frames that he can practice with either another ball or another line. It really doesn't matter what they shoot now, the game's gone. Point is with the Europeans, and we're just now looking forward to, as spectators, looking for a 300 game maybe.
Yes, that's what interests us going into frame 8, what Kent is going to do and whether the Europeans can get the 300.
Track too, though, so that didn't help.
Yeah, Kent is really dissecting what's been going on in this lane right now with the assistance of Kyle Troup. Stuart Williams also in singles action up next against Kent. Nothing he would wish to change, and right now he'll be hoping to make it 8 strikes in a row. Let's see if the big fella from Ellesmere Port can do it. Oh, what a shame.
Stewie!
Damn it.
Shot, mate.
Well, it's a shame. I mean, it was a pretty good shot. The reason the 10-pin's standing up is the ball just snapped back too much. Created a huge angle as it went through the pocket.
And the reaction from the two players tells you they were thinking 300.
Yeah, well, as I say, the game was won, and that was the
I
thing
kind
to
of
go
went away
for.
from the game plan then. I moved in a little bit more, but I got my hand around it, and I can't do that. I've got to. It's probably better to miss now than it's the next game, but that's annoying.
Well, that was the Marshall Kent loft. But he said he was going to try out for next game. He's practiced it here and it's worked, so it'll be interesting to see how he finishes the last 2 frames.
You know what somebody does? Super glue.
Super glue.
And by lofting, they're talking about the ball going through the air for the first 6, 7, 8 feet, not hitting the oil. Williams is hoping that this doesn't carry over into that singles match.
Well, he's close, but not quite close enough. He's just showing us how to do the twist there, I think. Dom just to pick up the spare. Strike for a 278 game. Obviously the victory's already there. And some encouragement now for Carl Troup on our audience here in the Metrodome.
I don't think Troup was remotely bothered about that. It was far more important to get his partner up to the lane. And he may well bowl just a strike ball here because it's irrelevant trying to dig out this spare. Let's see if he carries on with the loft.
You might want to record
well
it.
Spotted, Nick. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Although that's a spare ball that's come out,
isn't
I
it?
think. Let's have a look. Yeah. Just went for two. You would have, as you say, thought he may have practiced a strike shot.
That's a surprise. Because he now may not bowl again in this match. This will be Williams' last ball. And he finishes off the way he will want to carry on in singles competition. Big score from the double Brit partnership.
A super 278. Carl will just finish off for Team USA.
Well, he doesn't really want to strike. I mean, you would think, let's get Kent back up there again.
I gotta throw another one?
Done.
I've got to throw that split, says Marshall. Well, that's the rules of Scotch doubles.
Left hand.
Oh, he's going to go left-handed, he's telling everybody. Watch this one.
That's pretty good.
Just the one. It's the low game for the Team USA, 192.
It wasn't the final score that mattered, it was getting the point in the bag for Dom Barrett, who is leading the applause. The Europeans back in business, a big win. Now, Marshall Kent and Team USA will need to regroup and recover quickly because Kent will be in action against Stu Williams next, with Europe back in front, 12-11.
Team Europe once again take the lead. Reaction and comments after the break. On day 3 of the Weber Cup, the European duo of Dominic Barrett and Stuart Williams have made the first move in their bid to retain the trophy. Their doubles victory over Kent and Troup laid down and a marker, and it's restored Europe's overall lead. The winning partnership are now talking to Hannah Wilkes.
Well, Dom, another point on the board there. This is really going down to the wire, though, isn't it? Because it's so close between the two teams.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed in my singles match. We had plenty of practice, and I went through quite a bit of transition. My ball started hooking in the wrong place. But, yeah, Stu stepped up, and we had a little discussion before how to fix that, and came out really well. And Stu being up next has a really good idea what's going on in the lane. So, looking forward to good things.
You're well set for your next match, Stu. You're up against Marshall Kent again. I'll give you the opportunity to get a bit of fighting talk going, because after his performance, you must be feeling pretty optimistic about getting another point on the board.
Yeah, I mean, the lane changes so fast that, you know, I'm sure Marshall will find a solution. I feel pretty comfortable with the way where the lane was and this pattern when we practiced the first day. And we spoke about it last night, and I said to Dom, I felt like this was the best pattern, especially for me. And when I came on the doubles, you know, we bowled a lot, especially in these matches, and we have a lot of trust in each other. And I made a suggestion to him, and he went with it, and we were both kind of doing the same thing. It looked really good.
Well, that's another thing as well. As a partnership, you've played in the Weber Cup together for years. How much of an advantage is that when you come up against a relatively young and inexperienced pair?
It's a really huge advantage. Actually, I think we might have made a little error yesterday when we looked at the sheets. We didn't actually realize that you could play twice together, because I think
if we had realised that we could actually play twice together like the Americans are doing, we would have probably done that as well. But, you know, we have confidence in all the partnerships because we've all bowled together at some point on the Weber Cup, so it should be good, and I'm looking forward to this singles match now.
As are we. Good luck with it.
There's a confidence in the European team as we return to the singles, and a man who proved himself in the last match, Stuart Beef Williams, is up against Marshall Kent of the USA. Commentary for this match comes from Cass Edwards and Nick Halling.
A fired up, motivated and confident Stuart Williams is a scary prospect.
Some would say a hot beef stew, but he's trying to keep rather cool just there. But yes, off that last doubles game, he'll be really going high.
Made a slow start on that Friday night when he was well beaten by this man here, but Kent had some ups and downs. Now, will he do what he said he was going to do and loft the ball? Yes, he is. And he's lucky that he didn't leave anything too unpleasant there, because that is not the perfect start for him. A little shake of the hand there.
Slightly experimental with that. He's way left on the approach with his feet, and he's just lofting it down the lane through the first 8 or 10 feet. As you can see there, getting to the outside boards and still ripping back onto the head pin. We're playing on the burn. This is the third game that has been played on this lane dressing. So whatever damage is out there in the lane condition, it's already done. So the guys have got to try and avoid where the oil has gone missing from.
And that is why he is lofting it, to get it clear of that oil that's on the first 6, 7, 8 feet of the lane. We saw him do that earlier in the Weber Cup. He did it to very good effect as well.
Yeah, Marshall is actually quite famous for his loft on troubled lane conditions.
Williams had absolutely no trouble in doubles. Let's see if that carries on in singles play. Ooh, that's not the start he wanted.
Gosh, that one just hurried on a bit quick, didn't it? It made the head pin, but didn't have any drive through it to break anything up. He's right, he's perfect there, but it just didn't snap back, did it? Look, and that's the 2-8-10, which is an almost impossible split. Likely to be an open frame, and is.
So the only way is up then for the big fella. He's in Glendale, Arizona these days with his American wife. A young family on the go.
Yeah, new family as well. Young Brady was born since the last Weber Cup. Stu occasionally gets back to his original hometown at Ellesmere Port in Manchester. There's the loft.
He too leaves a little bit of a mess. Sleeper there. So whilst Williams might have left an open frame, the good news for the European perspective is that Marshall is still struggling to work this lane out.
Yes, he's not got off to the good start that he was hoping to. Ball doesn't seem to be finishing that back end on the right hand side, although that's the dry part of the lane. Some oil may have been pushed down there, but probably not enough to make that. It's all in the ball reaction. And that one really took off, didn't it? So a chance for Stuart to hit a strike here and take the lead.
Well, that is the point. If you're going to have an open frame, it is never good, but get it out the way early. So as you say, if Williams can take all 10 here, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens, because it is the third of 3 matches before this lane is redressed. The oil is all over the place, and the players will have to work out how the lane is playing. And he's left exactly the same mess as the first frame. Now that statistically is virtually impossible.
Well, someone shouted snap, because that's absolutely identical, as you say. The ball got to the right position there, it just didn't come back. Just touched the headpin, and he's quite baffled by that. And it's the 2-8-10, which, as I say, it's the impossible split.
Well, this is going to take some coming back from.
Well, depending whether Kent can get on a strike line.
Well, that's the one saving grace here for Williams at the moment. Kent isn't exactly firing on all cylinders either. He's lofting that ball through the oil, missing out, bypassing the first 6, 7, 8 feet of it. But he still isn't finding a consistent pocket hit. He's been fortunate to avoid any real mess down the back end of it. But you do get the feeling the first man to strike will grab the initiative in this particular match, because they're both struggling at the moment. Now, can Kent find that elusive strike? Yes, he can.
That's very much what he was looking for, and that's what the loft was all about. Get that ball down lane, get it out to the down lane marker, and hope it just snaps back properly, and that did. And the 8-pin was the last to go, which was a great looking shot. So there's work to do for Williams.
Well, this has got to be a strike. It certainly won't be a 2-8-10 again. That's impossible. That's much more like it. Well, he's in business, and this match is not over yet. Far from it. It hasn't got away from him.
No, but with 2 open frames, it's going to be difficult. He's going to have to hit a few strikes. He was the man in form coming into this game.
We'll send our statisticians into a frenzy here, but I can't think off the top of my head of a Weber Cup point that has been scored and won with 2 open frames this year. It's very rare, historically, but it's a possible here. Let's see if Kent can convert with a double like that.
It's quite an amazing style that Kent's got. He's ranked #1 in the world at the moment on the World Bowling Tour, but he's changed from a 5-step to almost a 3-step approach and just lofts that ball out. Gets the reaction in the back end and carries 2 strikes in a row, so he's more comfortable now. Pressure will be very much back on Stu Williams.
Well, he's got to match that. And somewhere along the line, Williams has also got to hope that Kent will leave him something to attack. That was never going to work. He's lucky to get away with 9.
Nick, you're quite right, yes. Very lucky indeed to get away. As the ball came off his hand, he sort of sighed as if to say, that's not right. And it's not, because it's flush through the head pin. And very fortunate just to leave the 1 standing. Makeable spare.
Yeah, but that's a worrying looking gap that's starting to emerge now.
Yeah, 29 pins the difference.
Kent stays on after this, by the way, in doubles competition. He'll be up with Sean Rash. They're going up against Don Barrett and Martin Larson. So Kent, once again, is getting a heavy workout from his skipper. He'll be 3 in a row. Yesterday in the afternoon session, he had 4 in a row. So he's the workhorse on this American team. And he's certainly dialed in now. He's very unlucky not to carry that 10.
Yes, he's throwing a style that he's used to and he's quite comfortable with. Not every player in the world would be comfortable doing this, lofting it down off a very short approach. But he's certainly getting some pin action down there. Unfortunate just to leave the tap on the 10 pin. It's wobbled, but it hasn't gone.
So it just keeps Williams afloat in this match, but he will have to strike. So frustration then for the American. And speaking of frustration, up comes Stu Williams, who opened up with back-to-back open frames. And that is quite a conference that's going on with Don Barrett down there.
Yes, it will be interesting to see if there's any adjustment here from Williams. But he should know his own game. He's a former World Masters champion. He's won tournaments all over the world. He's shot 300 games all over the world.
Well, that had to be a strike, and it was. That's a big ball. really slowed it down, took his time, and it'll be interesting to know what he and Don Barrett had to say prior to that shot.
Williams struggling to find his form. Kent sensing his moment. More to come after the break. Welcome back to the Weber Cup, where Williams and Kent are battling for a crucial point in the Weber Cup. For Europe, it represents a chance to extend their lead. For Team USA, the opportunity to draw level and regroup. In this, the fourth session. Plenty to play for both men. Commentary from Cass Edwards and Nick Halling.
But it's still Kent with a comfortable advantage going into the second half of this particular match. And we want to maintain that with another strike here. Oh my goodness, he's lucky to avoid the 7-10. He's so lucky.
Well, he certainly hit the pocket hard, didn't he? Off that three-step loft approach. Really hits well, but the 4 goes around the 7. And something hit, well, the messenger hits the 10 and just leaves a single pin. But there it was, the 7-10 split just for a moment.
Yeah, but that's potentially closed the gap to single pins if Williams can double. So this one far from over. Both of them really working on this lane. You can see the difference. On fresh oil, these two would be just bubbling away nicely, but here, with the oil all over the place.
Yeah, needs a strike here for 30 pins, and that will bring him close to just within 7 pins of Kent with 4 frames to go.
Yeah, it's another high pressure ball, this. Is it another strike? Is it game on? Yes, it is.
Great looking shot from Stewart there. He too has now moved way left on the approach, almost standing where Marshall Kent starts from. Getting the reaction in the back end, carries all 10. Great looking shot, 2 in a row, and he'll be pleased with that. Something to work on in the last 4 frames.
Yeah, and that's a long way to go in this one. Look at that, the deficit just 7 now. So Kent is starting to feel the pressure. Now, he got away with avoiding the split last time out. He'll continue to loft, I'm sure. He's done just that, and that's biting in and taking all 10. That was much better. Good reaction there from Kent.
Yeah, as I said, it's a style that he's used to playing. He's very much in a comfort zone. 3-step approach, loft the ball out, just let it rip back on the dry part of the lane. As I say, it's the 3rd game that's been played on this lane dressing.
And as Williams gets ready, Kent has gone over and is having a conversation with E.J. Tackett and Kyle Troup that have gone over there in the players' area. It's an indication of how much help these players need, that they are just bouncing ideas off each other on a lane that is clearly deteriorating. But it's Williams that's got the momentum now, having built that with the double. Can he convert this into a turkey and just stay tucked in with 3 to play? Needs another strike to keep the pressure on, and that'll do it. The heat is on now.
Yeah, great looking shot from Stewart. 3 strikes in a row, turkey time. Absolutely rips the rack and stays within 7 pins of Kent now with only 3 frames to go. So maybe the first player to glitch could well be the loser.
Well, up comes Marshall Kent, who, as you said, Cass, has completely adjusted his style for this 3rd match on this oil. Lofting the ball, just throwing it through the first few feet to good effect. But now that 7 leave potentially gives Williams the chance to jump in front here.
What a funny old game. And it's the scoring system that does this. Yes, if Kent can spare here and make 19. Stewart Williams can strike and take a 4-pin lead.
Well, he's got to make absolutely sure of this, and we have seen those missed. Jesper Svensson won't need reminding of that. He's missed 2 of those. Well, that's a good solid one. He'll be disappointed though, because that loft of his seemed to have solved a lot of his problems.
And there it is, you can see it, look at that. The first bounce is past the dots and past the arrows almost. Almost 10 feet he lofts that ball. But as I say, it's a style that he's used to playing on tough lane conditions around the world. Okay, Stuart Williams, you need a strike to take the lead.
Well, what an unlikely scenario this was 6 frames ago, when Williams had left 2 open frames. But he's got a chance here to just get his nose in front. He knows how big this is.
Yeah, he's looking for strike number 5.
No, the 10, is it going to go? Yes! Oh, what a delayed reaction that was!
Stuart Williams absolutely raises the roof. And some fantastic body language, and what a great shot this was. This is the 4th strike in a row. Slightly light in the pocket, but there's the messenger for the 10-pin, and away it goes. What a great looking shot.
Just beating the mechanism coming down as well. Look at that, there goes the mechanism, but the pin went, and Williams goes in front. Frame 9 coming up. Huge pressure suddenly on the shoulders of Marshall Kent, who's been leading all the way, but has been overhauled. And this now a high pressure ball for the American. And he's cracked under the pressure as well.
High through the head pin, leaves the 3 and the 6 standing, and really much under pressure, and he knows it. He's given Williams a chance to steal this one. Totally misses a pocket, high through the head pin, leaves the 3 and the 6.
How much of that was mental pressure, knowing that he had to strike, having been overtaken?
Well, you can tell by the look on his face how much pressure it was. And he's got to spare this one so he can stay in the game.
Well, Stuart Williams has put himself and Team Europe in with a great chance here. He's got to stay cool. Got to keep that fan going, whatever it takes. Against the odds, Stu Williams has put himself in a point-winning position here. And Marshall Kent, who's been chucking that ball down the lane, might have chucked this point away. Back-to-back strikes, Williams will shut him out here.
It is head-to-head match play. 2 of the top players in the world going head-to-head, and the pressure's been put on Kent by the professionalism of Stu Williams. 4 strikes in a row, looking for another.
Oh, not this time, not this time. It still keeps him in front. If he spares and strikes, he still wins.
Well, he's going to be a little bit fortunate. He had a 4-9 split standing for a second. High hip, and there's the 4-9 split. The 4's gone and nearly takes the 9 with it. Unfortunately, it stands, but let's hope it's a spare for him, and it is.
He can't afford to miss that. It's a 5-pin difference going into the deciding frame. Marshall Kent, who's been leading all the way, has been overhauled in the home straight.
Quite simple, really, Nick. Marshall must strike to have a chance. And if he does, Stu can still win on a high spare.
Wow, what must be going through Marshall Kent's mind now? This has been a real nail-chewing point, this one. And we still don't know which way it's going to go. Kent must strike. He lofted that high. But look at the result. He's done his bit.
231, and I'm just going to correct myself. As I say, the strike from Kent means that Stuart must strike as well to have a 2-3-6, 2-3-1 victory. Great looking shot here, trying to get himself out of trouble. Crucky's thrown that over 6th arrow and still makes the pocket and carries 10.
Well, we saw last night Sean Rash had to strike with his very last ball to win a point against Martin Larsson. Now the pressure goes to Stu Williams, who is in exactly that situation as well. A strike and you win. Anything else, you lose.
Just keep an eye out on Stewart's body reaction if he strikes. He will raise the roof here at the Metrodome, but it can only be a strike for a European victory.
Well, it'll register on the Richter scale if Williams does strike. He's really taking his time here. There is no clock ticking away that says he's got to go. But completely unhurried here. But everything on this ball. Is it a strike? Yes, it is! It's a point for Europe. And Stu Williams has come through big time.
Raises the roof on the last ball. It's the world bowling scoring system that brings games like this to the last ball shootout. Europe take another point, 236 to 231.
From back-to-back open frames, Stuart Williams has come from way back. Marshall Kent, though, knows he let that one slip away. But Stu Williams can celebrate. A huge win for him. He won with Dom Barrett in the doubles, and he won a nail-biter in singles. And Europe have breathing room once again. 13-11 they lead.
Stuart Williams recovered from a string of early open frames to strike his way to victory. It was a narrow win, but the point for his team is secure, and another block of blue is added to the leaderboard. Williams in fine form, and he is now talking to Hannah Wilkes.
Stu, that last frame, the pressure was on for that strike. My goodness, how were you feeling as you approached that last frame?
Well, I mean, I've been in that position plenty of times before, and I've also been the guy sitting down, and it's almost better to be the guy throwing it, because at least you don't have to worry about the other guy getting a good break or whatever. So I just had to calm myself down. I took the re-rack, got to really calm my heart rate down, and just try and throw a really good shot, and I did, and I think it was huge. To get back to being 2 ahead, not level, is massive.
What did you and Dom discuss going into that 5th frame? Because that really seems to be the moment that turned the game around a little bit for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got a lot of practice, and the lane broke down a lot more than it would have done, because Dom and Kyle practiced a lot, and then me and Marshall practiced a lot, and I think I got faked out a little bit. So I changed back to the ball I was using in the game with Dom. And then Dom said to me, he said, just take a deep breath. It's just normal bowling. It's the lane isn't that bad. Just make good shots. And I did. And I got a couple of good breaks, and Marshall got that really bad break. But we were due. I mean, I'm sick of watching the head pin fly across and hit the 10 pin for them. So it was about time we got one.
That you did. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Williams making the most of his breaks and recording a notable win that takes his team 2 clear in the race to 19 and the right to claim the Weber Cup.